Hey, it's Tuesday night, and we're at Day Chevrolet here in Jasper. I think a lot of you were down here at the open house. I've seen a bunch of pictures. Beautiful place, right? Day Chevrolet down here in Jasper. I am BKP. You're watching Pickens Power Half Hour Dragon Talk. We have head coach Chris Parker with us tonight. And, the team, the coaches, and the players are preparing for one of the nation's oldest rivalries in the United States this Friday night. That's the Gilmer Bobcats will be hosting the Pickens Dragons. We're going to be talking about that upcoming game this week. I'm here with my co-host RJ Casey. I want to thank Johnny's New York Style Pizza for providing pizza for the coach and me and RJ, right? Yeah. Three of us and David. Thanks a lot there, Johnny's New York Style Pizza. Oh, you looked at me like you didn't get any pizza. Producer looking like, you mean they had pizza? So anyhow, Coach, thanks for being here. You guys are coming off a win. 7 Quad A. We always do this as we start here. Region 7 Quad A. Getting right down to the end of the season. Cartersville is 5-0. Pickens is 4-1. Northwest Whitfield is 4-2. Ridgeland is 2-3. Heritage is 2-3. Gilmer is 2-3. Southeast Whitfield is 2-4. And Lafayette is 0-5. Coach, you're coming off a nice win against Heritage. We talked about it off camera and on camera last week, looking at the stats that they were going to be coming in, and this would be a tough football game. And you guys had a solid night. The Dragons, just before we get started here, you guys won 32-19. But as we talked Monday on the show, it looks like things kicked into gear in the fourth quarter. But tell us a little bit about that game.
Yeah, well, it was a very physical game, very tough game. I thought that, Heritage is really well coached. They did a good job, had a good plan on offense and defense. And, it was 10-7 at halftime. We kind of went back and forth. Both teams made some plays, made some mistakes, and then we were able to drive the field early in the third quarter and get up by 10. And then we kind of stayed up. They scored, we scored, and kept that distance. But I was, I was as proud as I've been maybe since I've been here, of a team for, find a way to win. We had a lot of things happen in the game that created adversity, and we were able to overcome those things and, find a way to win, which fortunately for us at this point in the year, 7 out of 8 times, we found a way to do that. And they've been in a lot of different ways. We had some low-scoring games, had some high-scoring games. We've had some games where, we've gotten down early or we've gotten up early or, in this case, it just seemed like a lot of little things that happened that created some different adversity in the game for us. And, I'm really proud of the kids for that, proud of the depth we got on the team and proud of their attitude and their ability to kind of take on whatever's thrown at us every Friday night and try to turn it into something positive. And, hopefully we continue that. We did get in the playoffs, so we got 3 more games at least. And all 3 of them going to be very big challenges. So, hoping we can continue that. But at this point in the year, we're very pleased with what we've gotten from the players.
RJ, you got any questions before I get into some of the stats?
Just talk about last Friday. You had some of the kids step up, like Kelton and Trayvon and all that in the running game. Talk about all the kids that had to step up on Friday.
Well, we played a lot of young kids. Had some people getting hurt, and we're not going to make excuses about people being hurt. Just they got to keep on playing. So, we probably playing 5th, 6th, 7th string running backs, and all did a pretty good job. Hard to highlight 1 or 2 of them. I thought the linemen, we got a couple of linemen. One's out for the year, one's banged up some. So I thought the line played well considering how many backs were rotating through there, and some of those backs are, mostly JV players. But then we're able to go in and make a couple key plays. Kelton Gilbert had a couple runs in the fourth quarter, one for a long touchdown. And we were able to block them up front. And so, but that's how we try to do it. We're not going to sit around and make excuses. I mean, somebody gets hurt, the next guy's been preparing and practice. Everybody gets the same amount of reps. And so, next man up. And I was proud of the team's attitude for that. And it's nice when the kids deliver and you can have that attitude and it seems like maybe it's actually true. So I'm very proud of those backs, proud of some defensive backs we had in, proud of some linemen. Not many positions on the field that haven't been affected in some capacity. But we knew coming into the year that the biggest strength we had was a lot of solid football players and a lot of guys that could roll in or play some different positions. And so luckily for us, that's proven true, and we've needed all of them.
Hey, Coach, what you just piggybacking on what RJ said, just to let you know out there, the Dragons 366 yards on the ground for 4 touchdowns, and 6 guys touched the ball Friday night, 366. Now, when I first got the stats, Coach, I got a little concerned. You aired it out. I seen all the 56 yards. I got a little nervous that, you went over 28-38, and I was like, what in the world? He changed the whole game plan up 56 yards.
Yeah, like I told you Monday, we just building for this Gilmer game. We wanted to, we're planning on just letting them think we're going to run it every play and just get our 40, 50 yards. And this week, we're going to
lighten it up.
Lighten it up.
Time to light it up.
Throwing it every play.
Throwing it every play. Coach, saying that now, reality is every week there's you're preparing for a game and there's somebody preparing against you.
That's right.
And you have when you have such a strong running game and you're getting the wins and you're in the playoffs, the bottom line is you're getting the results you want. But if you're that other coach, and are you getting predictable? And I want to ask you that. I guess that's the way I put it. If I was looking at your game film on the ground.
Sure. Yeah, sure. I mean, I think the key is you have to try. Our job as football coach, in that capacity, we got a lot of jobs, but as an on the field coach, our job is try to win the game. And it's try to evolve around what our players can do for that year. I think one of the things we're good at as a whole coaching staff is we can adjust to what our players do well and what formations we can run and who we need to have in the game. And that's what we do every year. I mean, we had a couple of years ago, we threw for 2,000 yards, which was a great year, and that's what we needed to do at that time. These guys seem to be a little better for what we're doing, and it also has to do with how your defense is playing, how your kicking game's playing. Right now, our kicking game has been pretty good. On third and medium type plays, it's easier to run the ball and maybe get it, or if you don't.
I really haven't paid any attention to your kicking game.
Yeah, I know you don't talk about the kick. But I mean, when the defense is playing well or when the kicker's playing well, sometimes it is easier to run the ball. So I think some of that, people think we just go out there and make this list of plays and just pick from them. Sometimes it's just a matter of what's going to help us win this game. And then all jokes aside, obviously we have, I was joking earlier, but if we felt like we needed to throw the ball 20 or 30 times, then we definitely would. If we got behind and fortunately for us, we haven't really been in a game all year where that's been much of an issue. Every game's kind of been back and forth, and it's been easier to, we have multiple schemes and multiple ways we attack the field running the ball. So I don't know that predictable is the right word. It's predictable on if it's a lot more run than pass, but it's not as simple as that.
Well, I would think the coaches out there, and predictable, my word, lack of better way to put it, but. And I know the coaches out there, they're professionals on the other side of the camera. You do have 2 quarterbacks that can throw the ball. I mean, I don't pick at you, but I have a little fun with that when you and I talk. But you and I both know Marcus Burden was the other young man. I don't want to.
Jacob Brumby.
Both of these young guys can throw the football, and you do have some receivers out there that can catch the ball. So that I know that's not a concern, but. In the playoffs, obviously, getting it done on the ground and controlling clock and controlling a game, when you can control a game, your defense is what is really, I mean, you guys are still in that 14-point range on defense all year long.
Well, the thing we've been doing in high school ball, most of the time, there's exceptions every rule, but most of the time, the team that can run the ball and stop the other team from running the ball usually wins.
Right.
And it doesn't matter all the other stuff, the stats. There's two stats that usually determine who wins or loses the game. Third down conversion,
right,
and then that, running the ball and stopping the run. For example, 8 games we played, 7 of them, we've had better third down conversions than our opponent.
Absolutely.
And we won 7, and the one we didn't was the one we lost.
Absolutely.
Usually, and the one team that I thought ran the ball pretty well on us was Northwest Whitfield. Every other team we played, I thought, I don't know what they got Friday, but it's like they're getting 2 yards a rush, 2.5 yards a rush. That's unbelievably good. So if we can do those 2 things and they complement each other, you kind of lower the score. You kind of slow the game down a little bit. But like Heritage Friday, they probably got the ball about 10 times Friday. And they scored twice in the fourth quarter. So that means in their first 7 times, they had scored 1 touchdown. So it's our job as the offense and the special teams to limit that number of times they get the ball, because in that 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th time they get the ball, defense is tired, it's easier to score points. And so, you know, this year it's just every year's different. You know, last year with Shannon Brooks, we run the play as fast as we could, try to get as many plays in as possible. Play action, offer stuff to Shannon was really good. This year we kind of stayed ahead of the chain, stayed ahead of people and run. But I'm happy with the defense. I'm happy with the special teams. Our biggest challenge now is just keeping it up through 3 really tough games. And yeah, to run all 3 up, to win these games, we probably have to throw the ball more. I mean, you know, Friday we were 4-6. I think that was fine. We converted the plays we called. I just didn't call many passes. But against Gilmer Friday, we may really have to throw the ball better. And you know, in the play, you know, getting the playoffs, you're not going to play anybody bad in the playoffs, so we're going to have to throw the ball better. And the defense is going to have to play better. And so we just got to continue to grow as a team, continue to build, and all 3 phases kind of working together, you know, on that.
Well, Coach, you know, I'm looking at the overall for the year, and for the year, right now to this point, your total points are 238, and your opponent's points are 124. And I'm going to use the word, like I said, maybe predictable wasn't the right word. Maybe perfect is not the correct word at this time. But you're doing what I call the perfect high school football season. I call in high school football, I call it 28 points. Get me in the end zone 4 times, hold the other opponent to 2 times, and that's double. I got some cushion. So I want to walk out 28-14. That's high school football to me. And right now you guys are averaging 29.75 a game, and your opponents are 15.5. So you're right in that what I call the solid team defense and offense. Both sides are doing their job, and you're getting 28 and they're getting 14 and going home.
That's right. We've been happy with the kids. They've done a good job. The challenge is, unfortunately for us, you know, Friday they're going to start that thing 0-0. So we ain't, none of those points going to matter for us Friday.
I told you, this is for our fantasy football team,
yeah.
Coach.
And we tell our kids that every week, that every week's different. You know, I mean, every week's different. Some weeks we do certain things, some we don't. I mean, you know, we try you got to think of high school ball a lot of times with us is every week's just like a 1-week season. You know, I was telling you guys off there about how we get in there on Saturday and we only look at the team until then. It's just from Saturday until Friday evening at 10 o'clock. That's all we're worried about is that team. And then when it's over, it's over. We got to move on, you know, forget about it, win or lose, and play this one. And so there's a lot of diversity in that, and it's a challenge. But I'm really happy. I am very proud of the kids and all they've done this year. And we've had to overcome a lot of things to do that. But at the same time, we tell them, you know, we talk good about them at the banquet. You know, they better worry about this game coming up Friday, you know, because we got a good football team coming, and I guess we're going to them, and it's going to be a challenge.
Yeah, we'll talk about how great things were at the banquet when we're giving out awards, right?
Till
right.
then, we better worry
right
about
now,
the
right now, let's worry about Friday night.
Yeah.
Let me give you a couple stats before we go to our break against Heritage. Again, the Dragons are coming off a 32-19 win over Heritage last Friday night, and Marcus Bird had 3 completions out of 4 attempts for 45 yards in the air, and Jacob Brumby had 1 completion on 2 attempts for 11 yards, but 6 Dragons touched the ball. Chris Pittman, Dylan Gasaway, Trayvon Harkins, Marcus Bird, Kelton Gilbert, Caleb Brooks touched the ball, and big shout out to Chris Pittman for 119 yards, averaging 4.3 a carry for 3 touchdowns last Friday night, and the long one 19 yards. We'll be back after these messages. I am BKP with my co-host here, RJ Casey. RJ is going to dig into some Gilmer stats or the Gilmer Pickens game. He's going to start asking some questions. He's ready for this game Friday night. I don't know who prepares all year more for this, your team or this guy right here, but he's ready for this coming Friday night. We're at Days Chevrolet down here in Jasper, right off 515, the new Days Chevrolet. And again, we want to thank Johnny's New York Style Pizza for providing the pizza tonight. We'll be back after these brief messages.
I'm Sheriff Dane Kirby, and I'll stand up for you.
I'm Stacy Nicholson, Sheriff of Gilmer County, and I will stand up for you.
Stand up and speak out. No matter how rich, cool, talented you believe yourself to be, how you treat people ultimately tells all. I am Allison Sosby, District Attorney, and I'll stand up for you.
LJ Tire Company since 1955. With a huge range of tires at the lowest price and fast, hassle-free service, LJ Tire is all you need every time. LJ Tire carries only the top brands in the industry: Cooper, Michelin, Mickey Thompson, Pirelli, and Yokohama. Stop in and let AES certified mechanics change your oil today. Life doesn't slow down for car maintenance, and LJ Tire won't either. If your car is tired of its tires, go to LJ Tire.
What you gonna do with all that junk?
All-new Schottenkirk Ford in Jasper. Highway 515 South, Jasper. SchottenkirkFordJasper.com.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds. Come on in to view the area's largest selection of fine jewelry at North Georgia Diamond. All repairs and designs are done on-site by our jewelers. And North Georgia Diamond has the lowest prices on loose diamonds. You can also sell your gold, silver, and coins at North Georgia Diamond between Walmart and Lowe's in East LJ. Locally owned by Bill and Allison Craig, North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
Let it ride during the Lucky 7 sales event at Lifetime Kia. Come try your luck in the Money Machine. Yes, come take a test drive and you get a chance to grab for cash in the Money Machine. Plus, shop big-time savings on every vehicle in stock. And remember, Kias come with a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. And Lifetime Kia will extend that warranty for as long as you own it. Come try your luck in the Money Machine and experience the savings at Lifetime Kia.
El Rey and Ellijay.
El Rey Mexican Restaurant.
Family owned and operated, and a local favorite for families, parties, and meetings.
Great prices.
Friendly service and delicious Mexican cuisine.
Patio dining available.
Come sing in Carlos's Cantina every Friday 9 to 1.
Eat in or take away.
Same location for 14 years. Open 7 days at the corner of Maddox Drive and 515. North Georgia's favorite Mexican cuisine. El Rey and Ellijay.
Hi, I'm Rhonda the Mattress Lady, and this is my husband Gary, owners of Mattress Overstocked in LJ next to Walmart.
And we want to earn your business. From the time you walk in our door to the time we deliver your new mattress to your door, you will see the difference. Our selection and prices are the best in North Georgia, and customer service is our top priority. So y'all come on in and let us help you find the right mattress at the right price. That's Mattress Overstocked in LJ next to Walmart.
Only one thing beats a day's price on a new Chevy. It's our pre-owned price. Now at the Days Chevy Jasper Pre-Owned Super Center. Save thousands off original MSRP on the best selection of pre-owned vehicles in the North Georgia mountains. Cars, trucks, SUVs, even luxury vehicles. Many with factory warranty. And all thousands below new car prices. We can even help rebuild your credit. Save thousands today at the Days Chevy Jasper Pre-Owned Super Center. The North Georgia mountains big volume, low price leader.
Better days ahead, Days Chevrolet.
Find new roads.
Don't retire. Hey, and we're back. You're watching Pickens Power Half Hour Dragon Talk. We're coming to you live here at Days Chevrolet, the new Days Chevrolet right here in Jasper. Come down, check out this yellow Corvette, and you got to pass that red Colorado coming in. I told him tonight, man, if that red Colorado was yellow, it just might leave here. Boy, I like everything about that looking out front. We're here with Dragons head coach Chris Parker and my co-host RJ Casey tonight. We want to thank Johnny's New York Style Pizza for providing pizza for the coach here. RJ, myself, and maybe David will get a slice when it's over. He thinks he will. But we're talking 7 Quad A football here, Region 7 Quad A, And if you just joined us, let's run down. We do this twice a show. Cartersville is 5-0. Pickens is 4-1. Northwest Whitfield is 4-2. Ridgeland is 2-3. Heritage is 2-3. Gilmer is 2-3. Southeast Whitfield is 2-4. Lafayette is 0-5. A lot of 2-3. We have 3 teams there at 2-3, and then it gets up to 4-2 and 4-1 there for Pickens. At Cartersville 5-0. A lot of 4-2 bunched up, so you're going to want to pay attention to this 7. There's 2 more games this Friday night, next Friday night. Going to be a lot you're going to want to pay attention to. When it comes to Gilmer and Pickens, you can follow us at FetcherNews.com, on Twitter at FetcherNews, hashtag Team FYN Sports on Friday night. RJ Casey has hashtag Team Pickens Football, and Pickens Football, and I have hashtag Gilmer Football on Friday nights. RJ, you got a green sweatshirt on. I'm wearing a green hat. You're determined you're not going to wear a purple one, right? It's not going to happen.
This time next week, you're going to be wearing that again.
I got to wear it again next week, right? 2 shows in a row?
Yeah.
Can I ask a favor? If it comes, I'm asking both of you Dragons here. This is 2-1, folks. I'm asking both Dragons right now. If I have to wear, can I get a new one? Can I get a new Dragon hat? I mean, this is an old model. Can I get the new model?
We'll see.
We'll see. Oh, look at this. We'll see. RJ, talk to him about Friday night's game. This is one of the, we're having fun here. We enjoy it. Team FYN Sports always promoting and highlighting young athletes in a positive way. We're talking about one of the oldest high school rivalries in the nation. That's Gilmer Bobcats will be hosting the Pickens Dragons. Talk to Coach about preparing for Friday night in a rivalry game.
Well, with Gilmer having a new coach, Coach Graves coming in this year, and him coming in bringing in a new offense, he likes to run it fast pace and high tempo, trying to get as many plays as he can per game. What have you seen on film, breaking it down so far?
Oh, they've done a good job. They definitely played pretty well the last couple of weeks, and you know, they're one of those teams that Brian was talking about. That's 2-3, and you know, if they win their last 2 games,
right,
and we could lose our last 2 games, we'd be right. You know, they're even with them, and there's several teams like that. So they've got a lot to play for Friday. I mean, in addition to a big rivalry, I know they're going to come ready to play, but there's still some playoff implications for them. It's going to be a tough game on Friday. I mean, all I see out there is a bunch of guys that, a lot of them same numbers as we played against last year. You know, I mean, a lot of key spots. And, you know, I know they're good football players. I remember them from last year. I've seen them this year. The ball hadn't bounced their way in a couple of those games. And, you know, anytime you have new coaching staff, it takes a little time to maybe figure out what they want to do. But unfortunately for us, now it's the 9th week, and they seem to have figured it out a little bit, won the last couple games. So, yeah, I mean, with us, we're kind of limping in a little bit, and they seem to be on an upward swing. So, I mean, you know, yeah, it's going to be a challenge. I mean, specifically, you know, just regular football, blocking and tackling pretty well. And, you know, when they've run the ball well, they seem to have played well, and when they haven't, they haven't. And when they've stopped people up front on defense, they've seemed to play well, and when they haven't, they haven't. So, you know, that's the key for us to give it. You know, it's not a big secret. To make a play in the kicking game, eliminate penalties, things like that.
Coach, rivalry football, and I think there's nothing better, whether it's high school, college, or pro. I think there's nothing better than rivalry football. When your record, you're already in the playoffs, they're looking for the playoffs. Does everything kind of go out the window when you show up at because a team that doesn't have maybe as good a record, which actually they don't have the record you have. But when you're playing rivalry football, that team could show up and it's a whole different night because of that rivalry. Has that happened?
Oh yeah. Listen, they're not, regardless of what record is, they're not a whole lot different than us. I mean, we're not talking about Buford and us, you know, or something. There's not a giant gap between us and them. We play them in every league, 5-year-olds all the way up to middle school, JV, varsity. You know, I mean, very similar communities, and that's what makes it fun. But no, under no circumstance would they be much worse than us. They're going to be ready to play. Their guys will have them ready to play. Their coaches will have them ready to play. And yeah, I mean, you know, us being 7-1 is great. But like I said earlier, they still start the game 0-0, so it doesn't help us anymore when they kick off. It's just us and them, and then sometimes maybe more dangerous because you feel like a team like them that maybe the ball hadn't bounced their way in some games. You feel like maybe they come together and play really well one night. Hopefully it won't be Friday, but you feel like they will at some point. I think Coach Gray's got things going pretty good. I think he's done a good job up there, and the ball kind of has bounced our way in a couple of these games, and so probably the difference in the records there. I think that I've been really impressed since I've been here with the support both communities get. As much as I tell people I like the fact that they in our community so desperately wants to beat them, but also that they so desperately want to beat us, and that's what makes it fun. Like you said, I mean, to me, that's very exciting, and I could see this, being a good game Friday and being, a deal where whichever team shows up with the most amount of intensity will probably win. This will be my 4th time playing Bobcats in the varsity game, and I think all 3 times before, the team that matched the most intensity won the game.
I'll agree with that.
And I think that, and we've talked to our players about that, and I think it's important that we're able to compete in the rivalry game and know that they are going to be gunning for us, like you said earlier about some other people, that the other coaches are getting paid, they're professionals, they're working hard, their players have worked in the weight room, their players have been at practice. That's nothing special that we've done. Everybody's doing that. So we've got to go to match their intensity and play hard early and give ourselves a chance, to play all 4 quarters and get a chance to win it at the end.
Injury report. Can you shed any light on how many guys are out for the season, or are you going to do Friday night, or is this all game time decision, Coach?
We got some that are out for the year. We got some that are game time decisions, but I mean it's in the double digits of number of people out. But you know what? That's not an excuse. I mean, I'd rather not talk about specifics about that, but not because it's a secret, but because the guys who are hurt would rather us focus on next man up, no excuse. If we go out and play poorly on Friday, that'll be my fault, and it'll be the guys out there playing's fault. It won't be because somebody's hurt. And so, yeah, we got some guys beat up in some spots, but as many of them are going to play as can, and being this rivalry, and it's important to our guys, and most of them it's been important to them since they were born. They're going to try to play if they can. And the ones that can are going to need to go out there and execute. And we got good enough players on our team and good enough coaches that, whoever puts our green uniform on and get out there, they're going to try to give us a chance to win.
Anything else before we wrap up tonight? I have one more I want to ask you.
Ask me a good one, RJ. Let's go.
Well, like you said, this is your 4th time going to be going up against Gilmer. You're into the rivalry a little bit. Talk about your experiences in the rivalry so far.
Well, I enjoy the amount of excitement both communities have. I've been very fortunate the last 3 years. I feel like every time we played them, it was for, maybe to lead the sub-region or to get in the playoffs or to, clinch a home playoff game. I think last year it was. And that was all, going against Coach Tangersley. And now we got a new coach, and, it's kind of different. We don't have as good a feel for what they do maybe. So still a lot of excitement there. But I'm just excited I'm excited about every day to, have a chance to coach anywhere, but especially here, and for a lot of reasons. But, one of them really is that we got our own little version of, this going on where, it doesn't matter who else is playing Friday. All we care about is, our communities are playing each other. And, and that's kind of neat. So it's still in a day where stuff's not how it used to be. Maybe in this one thing, it kind of is how it used to be. Where everybody gets fired up for the game on Friday. And so, kind of neat. I'm excited about the middle schools and the JV and the 9th grade and everybody. But, it's still something about Friday night playing against a rival. And, so, it's neat that we have that. Every team doesn't have it. Every school across Georgia, especially when you get in metro areas, they don't have as much of that kind of old-time feel of the game. So that's always kind of neat for me.
Coach, we got to wrap up. 2 quick things. Pro football coaches, even college, those are hard jobs, but still yet those guys are getting the young men and these grown men in a more of a focused time. high school football coaches having to harness the energy of high school students to play football. There's nothing harder from one week to another. And I know sometimes this is a crazy question out there, but for me, it's always when you get in that locker room and you go into a rivalry, how do you keep these kids? You want them up, but you want them calmed down to focus on their practice. How do you get that? How do you get that balance you need on a week like this?
Well, you try to keep it as much as every other week as possible. The kids will make it a little more intense. You know, pregame warm-up, there'll be a little more pep in their step than maybe normal. But you try to do the exact same schedule and treat it, the same as you do everything else. Because the truth be told, the game's not going to be won in the first couple minutes. I guess it can conceivably be lost in the first couple of minutes, if you just make an awful play or two.
Right.
But you want to actually, we want to get our kids ready to play to start the game. We want to be focused and want to play the first play hard as we can play it. But sometimes the bigger challenge in high school is to get them to play the 60th play, as hard as they can play.
Right.
And so we really want them to remember the rivalry, remember the intensity that they have to play in Gilmer. That's exciting on Tuesday here tonight, and it's exciting tomorrow, but it's going to be really exciting in pregame warm-ups and all that. But it's going to be more exciting at halftime and in the third quarter and in the fourth quarter because I really feel like the game Friday is going to come down to a couple of plays, probably in the fourth quarter. Maybe a turnover here or there, or a penalty here or there, and we got to be ready to take advantage of that opportunity if something comes, and either get the ball at the end of the game and drive the field and score to take the lead. Or they got the ball and we got to stop them, and so we got to try to do everything. We talk to our kids a lot about putting themselves in those positions. Put yourself in position all week and all day Friday and all pregame where you're ready to go. 3 minutes left in the game, we got to stop them. Or 3 minutes left in the game, we got to go score. And you're ready to play the best plays you played all night right then. Way easier said than done. So I don't know if that answers your question, but that's what we try to do. Remember those college and pro coaches, they make a little more than me and Coach Graves make too. Remember that, guys? They make a little bit more than we do.
Yeah, and
and they get to ask their players to come. We just play guys from our county. So two totally different.
Two totally different. All right, Coach, we appreciate it. RJ, I will meet you center field before game time Friday night, right? We'll shake hands, and then I'll meet you at center field right after the game. You got it?
Yes, sir.
Deal?
All right. I'm just glad Brown's getting to see us play.
Yeah.
I'm excited he's going to be out there.
Yeah, they're going to. You see this? 2-on-1. I'm going to tell you what, I am BKP, your host. You've been watching Pickens Power Half Hour Dragon Talk with head coach Chris Parker and my co-host here, RJ Casey. I'm going to tell you, this is one week I look forward to all year. I love both these programs. I love watching these young men. Don't forget, it's on the field Friday night, guys. Team FYN Sports, always promoting and highlighting young athletes in a positive way. Do it on the field. That's where it belongs. And I guarantee you both of these teams will give you a performance Friday night that you, the fans, will not be disappointed. You got Pickens Dragons fans, you got to love Coach over here. I mean, he's got 90 guys injured, so nobody knows who's showing up. What a game plan this guy Coach, I loved it. But, hey, nothing better than being here on Tuesday night with head coach Chris Parker. Look forward to seeing you Friday night, Huff Mosley Stadium, 7:30 kickoff, Dragons, Bobcats. Thank you, Johnny's New York Style Pizza tonight, and thank you, Days Chevrolet, for providing the set for us for this show. If you have somebody you want to see the show, we upload it tonight. Look for Pickens Power Half Hour on Fetch Pritchard on YouTube or FetcherNews.com, and also follow us at FetcherNews.com, Twitter, #Team FYN Sports for Friday night.